Okay, so let's go back. And we looked at this assignment the other day. The other day we did this, and we kind of stayed with some nice numbers, okay? This right here. See what I got in red right there? When you see an ordered pair of numbers, we look at that and we think, what did they give us there? What do we call that ordered pair of numbers? What does it represent? Starts with a P. A point. A point. When you see an ordered pair of numbers, X value, Y value, that X value, Y value, that ordered pair describes a point on a graph. Okay, so when you look at an ordered pair, you need to look at that as, okay, they gave me a point. Because again, based on the information that you've been given, that should direct you where to go. So 2, 4 is a point, and of course, obviously, they gave you a slope of 1/2. Okay, so here was our point slope form. Let me jot it down. You might jot it down one more time as well. Y minus Y sub 1 equals M, which is our slope, times X minus X sub 1. Okay? And the parts of that form that I underlined, remember, those are the 3 parts where you are able to input numbers and values. So right here, we're going to go Y minus, what's the Y, bless you, what's the Y value that we're going to plug in? Thank you. We're going to plug in 4 equals, what's going in for M? 1/2. There's my slope. And then X minus 2. Okay? They gave us a point and a slope, so we're going to point slope form. We plug the numbers in to their respective variables. Is everybody okay with where everything came from up there?
Wait, do I have to write this down?
Yeah, I definitely would, Christian.
Okay.
I definitely would. And I am recording it as well, so you'll be able to go back and watch. Okay. Now, remember, this is a point slope form. Guys, this is a valid equation of a line. This works as an equation of a line. But we are going to continue to take it to slope intercept form. So that means I need to distribute the 1/2. So right here, Y minus 4 equals 1/2 times X. What's 1/2 times X?
1/2 X.
Thank you. Bless you. 1/2 X. Okay. Right here, we're going to go 1/2 times -2. 1/2 times -2. Now, right up here in the upper right, I'm going to do that separately, kind of like we did before we started this. We've got a fraction being multiplied to a non-fractional number. So 1/2 times -2 over 1. I'm going to make the non-fraction a fraction. What is 1 times -2? Is -2.
Which the answer will be -1.
What's 2 times 1 across the bottom? 2. So across the top, -2. Across the bottom, +2. And -2 divided by -2 divided by +2 is -1. So right here, we end up getting a -1. Give those fractions a chance, okay? A lot of times they will work themselves out into a nice number. Is everybody okay with where -1 came from?
Don't we just cross out that 1/2?
Cross out the what?
1/2.
No. You got to keep it. Now, to solve for y, what's the number over there with y? What number needs to move to the right side?
Look, we're gonna move up there, positive.
That's right. Add 4 to both sides. Y equals 1/2 x. And then what's 4 minus 1? Positive 3. 4 minus 1, positive 3. There is your slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Okay? All right. Any questions here? We're going to do another one. Okay? But that will be kind of the common theme today. All right, let's go down here to number 4.
I'm not writing the other.
There you go, Christian. We're going to go to number 4 next. So if you want to jot down number 4, jot down that information. Can you wait till I'm done? I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more example. Please. Can you wait till I get this one done? Now, something to note on number 4. We're getting ready to do number 4. What do you notice about the x and the y values in the ordered pair? They are both negative. And we talked about this the other day. This point slope form has these built-in minus signs, y minus and x minus. So if you plug in a negative x or y value into this form, you should anticipate a sign change. Okay? And just kind of keep that in mind. Also notice our slope is negative. That negative sign is only going to be able to be used with either the 3 or the 4 when we multiply with it. Okay? So just kind of noticing those things. All right? Okay, so here we go. All right. Y minus. What's my y value here? Negative 1. So right there, y minus negative 1. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write it out right now. If you are somebody that already recognizes that's going to become a positive and you put y plus 1, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw it out here so that we see it. Y minus negative 1 equals, what's our slope? Thank you. Negative 3/4. And then we've got x minus, what's our x value? Okay. So y minus negative 1 equals negative 3/4 times x minus negative 8. Guys, like I said, until you get pretty comfortable with this, I would plug everything in. I'd plug it in and get a good look at it. Now, let's go clean some signs up. Minus a negative 1, this is going to be y plus 1. That's going to be y plus 1. We still have negative 3/4. Our slope is still negative 3/4. And then inside the parentheses, x minus negative 8 really becomes x plus 8. Thank you. Wonderful. It's a good guess. Sometimes it's good to be a good guesser, right? Okay? Everybody okay so far? Watch out for your sign changes. Plugging in a negative x or y value into this form is going to prompt a sign change. Okay, look what we're going to distribute here. We're going to distribute a negative 3/4. So y plus 1 equals guys, what's negative 3/4 times x? Thank you. Negative 3/4 x. And just like we did before here, negative 3/4 times 8. Negative 3/4 times 8 over 1. I'm going to do it right here in the upper right again. Negative 3/4 times 8, and I'm going to put that 8 over 1. Okay? So across the top, negative 3 times 8. On the bottom, 4 times 1. And coincidentally, we already did this one. Negative 24 divided by 4. Thank you. Good job. Negative 6. Again, it works out to a nice integer number. And I think that's what you're going to keep finding for today. So these are going to work out pretty nice. Okay? Now, again, this form right now, that is a legitimate equation of a line in point slope form. That would qualify. Okay, we're going to go to slope intercept form. So what's the one number we need to move? And how are we going to move it? Thank you. Y equals negative 3/4 x. What's negative 6 minus 1? Negative 7. Same sign, keep the sign, add the numbers, right? We're not multiplying there. We're quote, adding. Negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. There is your slope-intercept form. Slope is negative 3/4. Your y-intercept is negative 7. Okay? All right, any questions? Any questions? Does anybody need to see another one? Or we feel pretty good about it? Guys, pardon? You want to do one more? We can do one more. Here we go. Let's do number 3. All right, here we go. You're going to, yeah, this will be good right here. This will actually be a good one. All right. Here we go. Y minus. Guys, what's the y value? 0. So y minus 0. For right now, I would go ahead and throw that in there. Y minus 0. What's your slope? 2/3 times x minus negative 6. Now, here's the nice thing about this one, that with that y minus 0 on the left side, guys, there's no number to move over in the end. So right now, y minus 0, you've really just got y equals there. You've got y equals. You are already in a slope-intercept form. Now, this minus a negative 6 is really x minus negative 6 is really positive 6. So that right there is really a plus sign. So now let's distribute this 2/3. What is 2/3 times x? 2/3 x. Boom. Got it. 2/3 times 6 over 1 is what? Is 12 over 3, which equals 4. So that ends up becoming just a plus 4. So that with 0 involved, if your x or y value is 0 and you're plugging in this form, it should make life in some form or fashion a little bit easier. In this case, it set us up to where we're just y equals already. We're already in slope-intercept form. 2/3 x plus 4 after we multiply with the fraction. Slope-intercept form, we are solid. Slope is 2/3, y-intercept is 4. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Any of the problems left that has a fractional slope, that's what we're going to do, okay? So the other day we did all the non-fractional problems. Today, any problem that has a fractional slope, that's what we're going to do, okay? Okay, any problem with a fractional slope, which we've done 3 of them now, there shouldn't be too many left. Any problem with a fractional slope, that is the assignment. Yeah. All right, I'm going to hit record. We're recording. All right, first thing we're going to do, let's say we take 1/2 and we're going to multiply it times 3. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Erase that. Let's multiply it times 6. Let's multiply it times 6. 1/2 times 6, sorry. I would jot this down. This will be important for today. 1/2 times 6. Now, when you are in a situation where you are multiplying a fraction to a number that is not a fraction, like you're seeing on the screen, okay? What I would encourage you to do until you get comfortable with this is I would make that non-fraction, see that 6? I would put that 6 over 1. Because any number can be written as a fraction. There's an understood 1 underneath it, any whole number, okay? But I think it's important that you see that you've technically got 2 fractions here, all right? Now, why are we going to do that? Well, remember, when you multiply with fractions, okay, we are going to multiply across the top and across the bottom. So 1 times 6 would be what? 6. On the bottom, 2 times 1 would be 2. So what we end up with is 6 over 2. And what is 6 divided by 2? That ends up being a 3. Okay? So, guys, with a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times working with these fractions, things end up fairly nice. And I think that's what you're going to find with today, kind of looking at some of the problems you're going to do. When you get in this situation where you're multiplying a fraction to a non-fractional number, you should be ending up with a pretty nice number for the most part, okay? A nice integer number, all right? Another one here. Let's go 3/4, and let's make it negative, times 8. Negative 3/4 times 8. Now again, when you recognize that you've got a fraction times a non-fraction, I would take that non-fraction and I would put it over 1. And again, some of you may get comfortable doing this, and you might be able to do this kind of mentally and visually, and if you do, awesome. But if you're still uncomfortable with it, guys, on your paper, I would write this down and do it on the side. Now, everybody sees that 3/4 is negative, correct? Yep. If that fraction is negative, that negative sign can only be used with either the 3 or the 4. It doesn't matter, okay? So when I multiply this across the top, I'm going to put that negative in my mind with that 3. So I'm going to go negative 3 times 8. What is negative 3 times 8? Negative 24. Negative 24. So now on the bottom, I'm going to look at that 4 as being a positive 4. I used my negative sign with the 3. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. So now across the bottom, 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? So across the top, across the bottom, we end up with negative 24 over positive 4. And negative 24 divided by positive 4? Negative 6. Thank you, Tiger. Negative 6. So again, it works out pretty nicely. Okay? Because I know that every time we probably see a fraction, especially when we're going to multiply with it, it's kind of like, okay? Give it a chance, it will work out most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're stuck with a fraction, but hey,